Hey y'all, a message coming through is having the right attitude. And this is important because with Mercury retrograde, which happy Mercury retrograde, by the way, there's a lot coming up with Pluto involved and Venus involved with it, pulling up issues around lack, self-worth, value, money, and things of that nature. And a message that's been coming through very, very strongly through this transit is to protect your attitude or have the right attitude. And this is tied into the Mars retrograde. These energies are very forward right now and screaming at me really to keep talking about them. But it's important too that as we have these shadowy aspects come up around our self-worth and value and money and our relationships too, especially our relationship to ourselves and what keeps us balanced, as the shadow aspects come up that aren't serving us, are no longer going to fit the bill if we want to move forward and actually see our visions through and feel like we're worthy of seeing those visions through, and that attaining what we want to attain is inevitable. It is our birthright. In order to do that, we have to really be discerning about what we allow into our minds and our perceptions and our attitude, and really protecting that by being very observational and not allowing these feelings that might be coming up or these issues that are in our face, that are, whether it's in our interactions and whether it's something that happened and it's bringing up these uncomfortable feelings and these uncomfortable thoughts and these uncomfortable beliefs we have. That's our opportunity to observe them, note them, and to rewrite them and to acknowledge them, and also affirm that while we do feel that way, we are healing, we are growing, we are expanding. We have a Virgo soul harmonic right now. So this is also dealing with integration and integrating a new level and taking our evolution to the next level. And when that happens, it's inevitable. These things come up because they can't come along with us. So it's important not to attach to them. It's important not to assign any sort of identification to them and thinking that because we're feeling this way, we're not ready or we can't move forward or we're not worthy. Very, very important to protect ourselves from those sorts of low vibrational thoughts as we go through this integration. Because Virgo is also a reality check, right? It's this is the reality of where you're at, but it's important to be grateful for how far you've come, and at the same time know that wherever you're at is where you're beginning. And that's beautiful, to allow that new beginning energy into our process and to really be honest with ourselves, and at the same time really taking responsibility for affirming what we're capable of, affirming where we want to go, affirming who we feel ourselves becoming, and to step into that and to honor that by not allowing any sort of low vibrational thoughts or a wrong attitude about something to infiltrate our process and to infiltrate our minds and to infiltrate our hearts. So definitely, definitely, definitely protect right now. Another message that's been coming through is animal totems and any sort of animals that are coming into your reality. If you keep seeing a certain animal, or you keep thinking about a certain animal, or even a certain segment of animals like birds, definitely do a little adventure and Google it and Google the meaning, because the animals are speaking right now and the animal spirits are delivering messages right now. And the right attitude message actually came through the moose. Mooses were all over the internet last night, so I looked it up and it was about protecting the attitude. And I did see throughout the day how I was allowing certain things to infiltrate, which wasn't serving me. So I had to dial back, I had to pull back, and I had to go within, because that's what works for me. But I'm going to pull some cards from the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle. We have the fire ant at the bottom, which is situations, being attracted to situations that feed our imbalance, or being attracted to even thought patterns that feed our imbalance. And again, to protect, to be honest about what takes us out of balance, to be honest about what pulls us into a low feeling, and to observe it. Don't judge it. It's the release that's happening. When those things come up, it's so we can release them. It's so that area in our lives and that aspect of ourselves wants healing, and it wants healing through acceptance. It's not about fixing ourselves, it's about accepting ourselves. So I'm going to give this a little shuffle and we'll see what animal spirit wants to come through. The hawk. And you can see the hawk is flying high. This is about getting above the muck, getting above the dark energies, and having some clarity of sight, and being able to see the more unpleasant things, perhaps the more uncomfortable things, without it taking us down with it. And birds is another, animal sort of energy that's been coming around. This idea of taking ourselves higher so that we can see more clearly and getting above a situation so that we can observe it from a non-biased perspective. But the hawk is also information. It's also messages coming in. So this is about getting above the situation and being more observational so that we can glean the information and actually understand what that situation is trying to teach us or tell us or show us. And to be able to use that to our advantage, to use that to integrate, to use that to transmute perhaps even denser energy so that we can feel more levity, more lightness, and more clarity in our lives. So if you're feeling the muck, definitely, pay attention to what in the past helps you get out of that energy so that you can actually get your bearing just enough to observe it and to look at it without feeling like it's taking you down with it. And that's important right now. Mercury is retrograde. It did cross Venus. So again, this can be a lot about, self-worth, value, money, lack, things of that nature, and relationships, and perhaps even seeing ourselves reflected and mirrored in our relationships in ways that doesn't feel good, but that's for us to have some awareness around, because again, the awareness is the release. And when we are aware versus judging, that really opens up a beautiful opportunity for healing and transmutation and integration so that we can move a little higher and get a little bit more into a more loving energy so that we can still be in these challenging experiences without necessarily having it sabotage, our manifestations or what we want for ourselves or where we feel ourselves going or even who we feel ourselves becoming. So I'm sending love and wishing you well. Bye.